The story is the following. A man from Jerusalem was robbers. They killed the animal, they robbed the man, they injured him, and ran away. The man was lying. Oh, look at the sheep on top of the hills. See skyline, how pretty this is.
So where'd they go?
Yeah, the Bedouin shepherd rides the donkey, he leads the herd, and they all follow him. And Samaria. 64, by the Americans put the Jordan. Israel, an echo of eternity by Heschel. I summarized it because he's more profound, and I picked up the pearls. That's what he says. In Jerusalem, past is present, and heaven is almost here. Jerusalem is a witness and an echo of eternity. Jerusalem speaks to all people. She is the city where waiting for God was born, where the anticipation of everlasting peace came into being. The city of Jerusalem was destined to radiate the light of the Spirit throughout the world. Jerusalem is comfort. This is the city of David, of the prophet of Israel. Jerusalem is a place to which we all turn when we pray, of which we all think when we hope. Here one feels. This city was meant to be by God. She is more than a city among cities. She is a city full of vision, a city with an extrasensory dimension. She is so much more than what you see. Her excellence is in her being an event in the form of a city, a seat of mercy for all men. And you're welcome to Jerusalem. On our left,
Judean wilderness.
pretty it is.
Very pretty. All these buildings are made with dolomite. Since 1917. 1917, they made them build all the buildings with this local stone, dolomite. So who do you think is Schwartz's line? Of course. Mr. Schwartz. Not staying there. Wait till you see the camel ranch we're going to stay at. That's the university.
Yeah. Yes.
Paid for it. So this is Jerusalem. You won't recognize him. I think he sleeps with his head. All right. Too bad it's misty up there.
Oh, yeah, they were pretty goofy.
Let me get a close-up. No, there's not a soul down there. I guess. Synagogue in Jerusalem with the menorah on top. Look at that.
The desecrated Jewish cemetery. This was desecrated by the Jordanians during the years 48-67. We couldn't come here. On top, the Intercontinental Hotel that was built by Pan Am. And
Mosca Banaska. Mosque.
we shall return here tonight.
Tonight.
That's the city wall. We will be to the western wall and we see the we're now coming
The western.
to the Dung Gate. Oh, here's John Wayne.
What?
By the way, this is not a camel. It's a dromedary. This has one hump.
Oh, like last night.
No, seriously speaking, the two humps.
One hump is a dromedary.
Two humps are better than one. Yeah.
Two humps is a cow.
You get it in the belly and in the back. Not to mention the other parts for little house.
Uh-huh.
Mount Zion, ladies and gentlemen, and the Church of Dormition.
The Western Wall.
The Western Wall.
Let me zoom in on this. You know, he's right. It's not that crowded, but
No. I go during the day.
Saturday's the best day.
You don't have the sound on, do you?
Oh, yeah. Talk, Ed. Give us a running commentary. Is that your mishpocha down there, Ed? The guy with the beard and the black clothes. Is that your relative, that guy down there?
What is it? This is the bus station. What is this thing here?
It's the bus station to Tel Aviv.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, shit. That ain't how you go into the wall.
Hey, you're on tape, Ed. Watch the language.
The only thing you know that tape is a
This,
dirty movie.
this is the family tape.
Family shit.
At the wall, men are only allowed on this side. No women allowed here. And no fegelach either, they say. Leonard tells me there's no fegelach. As Dalton do a fegelach, eingeflogen. Eingeflogen? See, that's where the men are. Now we swing over the other side. Now, what do the women do? Do they also do the same thing the men do on the other side of the fence?
Sure, they're praying.
So that's the women on the other side of the fence
That's
or
right.
partition. And this is what used to be the Wailing Wall.
It still is. What is
Well,
it?
they call it the Western Wall now.
Okay, the Western Wall.
Who's screaming like that?
They're praying.
That way? Is that prayers or is there
You
some...
want to walk in there? You don't want to go in.
Why not? You gotta have a yarmulke kit. I don't have mine. No, I forgot. No, maybe they have holy stuff. Praying at the wall, Hasidics, davening, praying. You hear people praying, davening is the word. Prayers, memory of the dead, the living. Prayers for peace. Moon. Moon over Jerusalem. The size of that wall. Just think of the history. Unbelievable. Look at the awesome size of that wall. This is only one portion of the wall built over the centuries by biblical people. I don't know the names. Absolutely immense. Men's section, women's section. Let's see what the women's section looks like, if we can pick up anybody there. The women are in that section, yeah, okay. Anybody we recognize? No. No. It's a memorial for the Jews, the 6 million Jews who died in the Holocaust. I think there's 6 candles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, commemorating their slaughter. And it'll burns 24 hours a day, every day in the year. A few pictures of the scenery. Uh-oh. Hal did means not well.
Sam didn't come. We prayed.
My Sam is in jail.
Here's him. That's street. The old the end of the 18th century. We have a German colony in Haifa, in Tel-Aviv, a place called...
There you go. Got to open a branch there, B.
In the old time?
All the time building. Amazing. Top of that hill.
We're cousins. Of John the Baptist. And there's another little church to our right in a minute. You're going to see it with the dark brown spire, the top of the spire. This is the Church of the Visitation. Very interesting little church. The Magnificat, that prayer I mentioned.
Trees, right? Are these our gang in there planting trees?
Yes,
There's Yoina Schimmel.
and Barbara is digging.
And,
She
and,
thinks she's at home.
and
Many,
Yussel.
many trees.
I told Howard I'm going to go home and I'm going to start painting the picture, the windows. They're so filthy, I figure what the hell, I'll paint them. That's the best. Is Eddie chopping away? Yep. $10 a tree. They're
I remember we used to pay, what was it, $2.
A place known as the Holocaust Cellar. A place where you went in depressed and you went out even more. Because they showed you what they did with the torn Torah. The torn Torahs, soap that was made out of Jewish fat. All the names of the Jewish communities written on the walls were destroyed by the Nazis. It's a place where you couldn't learn anything. You were just depressed. That's when the government decided we should have a place where where people would visit and then go back home with the message.
a memorial to the very famous hero of the Warsaw Ghetto, who after the Nazis bombed and killed and destroyed most of the houses in Warsaw, he took all these homeless children, close to 200 of them, and saved them really, and eventually through Czechoslovakia and whatever, he wound up here in Israel with them, went back, and last 50 kids he tried to assemble, they were caught, sent to Treblinka where 50 kids and himself perished. Eternal flame. They collected all the ashes from various crematoriums and brought them here and created a memorial. Eternal flame in the Yad Vashem. All is written, the names on the various camps, concentration camps, crematoria, in memorial. Vashem. We have a Nazi rise and fall to power. Adolf and Kaiser. Consolidation of power. The sewer is free. Praise or hail to the Führer. Groß Deutschland, Greater Germany. Germany becomes great without the Jews. Juden sind hier unerwünscht. Jews are not wanted here. Jewish German identification cards that they had to produce on the spot almost whenever asked for it. The German Jewry tried to convince the Nazis that they were true Germans, that they weren't anti-Germanic. Of course, that didn't help. And they had hoped that they could emigrate. A lot of them did earlier in the years. Unfortunately, those that didn't believe that they would be persecuted stayed. Many of them went to Israel, of course. The infamous Kristallnacht, which they smashed all the Jewish stores and burnt and plundered. And the government did nothing about it, the Germanic government. Rounded up the intellectuals and the officials and sent them away. Burning of synagogues, destroying Torah's Bibles, headlines throughout the world, New York Times. That the Jews had to wear or their clothing. Badges worn throughout the Nazi-occupied Poland. Let them take off their clothes for a shower. That's where they wound up. Well, we have another roll. Although we have to buy another roll. Anyway. You sure would say 36? Fear on those faces. Even some of them were smuggled in, you know.
Давайте не проскочим, помните, я вам сказала, чтобы помочь ему сражаться с еврейским Ешувом. 45-й год Освенцим. Все эти снимки, господа, сделаны воинами советской армии, которые вошли в Освенцим. И они говорят, что, как мы знаем, видите, здесь есть знак, давайте поближе, лучше вам видно, треугольника, видите, желтый. Это 45-й год, это как...
A tour rescued from the Warsaw Ghetto by one of the survivors. Names. They contain records of all the people who were lost in the Holocaust that they have written documentation for. Aisles and aisles and books of the unfortunate that died during the Holocaust. All shoes are accumulated in one spot, just to give you an idea. These were the people who wore these shoes that were eventually murdered, to give you an idea of what some of them are like. Very sad.
Yes. We're driving to the Knesset to show you the famous...
Did they live?
I lived there.
They lived
This is still in Jerusalem.
I could take this.
Now we're on our way to the Knesset.
right.
Knesset.
See, this neighborhood is mainly religious, but not the ultra-religious. These are the people with the embroidered yarmulke. Those who are, let's say, very well-to-do financially, affluent.
You can see.
Because it's here to buy a flat, an apartment. It's very expensive.
How much is expensive?
About 300,000,
Oh boy.
350,000.
That's all they
Out of there. Here comes Beatrice.
You better get her some slippers.
There's Beatty the Quetcher. All right.
Give birth to Jesse, and Jesse to David. So you can see right above Ruth, we have the crown. In the center, right here, Ezekiel in the valley of the dry bones. Remember I told you about it. Under it, the pogroms in Europe. You can see the little shtetls burning on top. All this for our religion, the Shema Israel, Spirit, said God. And of course you can tell on the rivers of Babylon where we sat down and wept when we remembered Zion. And yeah.
Who is this?
Who's the artist? I don't know.
There's a picture of the the dome in which the Dead Sea Scrolls are housed. The top and the shape that you see here, this white top, is an exact facsimile of a cover of the jars, so to speak, that the Dead Scrolls were in. And it's in white to show sun and light versus darkness. The original jars in which the Red Sea Scrolls were kept, actually they were hidden from the advancing Roman soldiers. They were hidden in a cave, and they were discovered by a shepherd whose sheep went into the cave, and the shepherd threw a rock at the sheep to get him to come out of the cave, and when he did, he heard the jug shatter. He went inside, investigated, and found the jars in which the Dead Sea Scrolls were. This is 2 pages in the center of the book that was found. Absolutely remarkable. There are three scrolls that are preserved in the shrine. There's the bronze face on the handle. Those 4 letters is a sculpture actually out of bronze, and it says Ahava. Translated, it means love, and it sits here in the museum, outdoors of course. Ahava
is the dining room, the absorption center.
Look at the face
and that's
of
the
them.
Just to
housing.
give you an
That's
idea,
what I
Barbara,
saw.
take your bags
and
They have a Caucasian.
These are the Ethiopians.
Hill. Why did they name it Aeroplane Hill? This is where a plane crashed during the '67 war. The government of Israel and Teddy Kollek, the mayor of Jerusalem at the time, decided that in order to accommodate more newcomers in Jerusalem, they put up this camp as a temporary camp for 3 groups of people. First, Israeli homeless, Russian newcomers, and Ethiopians. These houses, again I repeat, is temporary, and the job here is A, educate them in the place. Here we have a Hebrew school. Oh, here they are.
What are
Called Givat Amatos, which in English is the hill of the plain. It's called this way because for many years, can you hear me?
What was the name of the place?
The hill of the plain.
Plane, plane, airplane.
Givat Amatos. The reason is that in the 60 war, more than 20 years ago, an Israeli plane fell on this hill. So the people in Jerusalem call this abandoned place, abandoned hill, the hill of the plain, Givat Amatos. And now it's a caravan site, as you can see. If you look around you, you'll see caravans in different colors. It's not because they're any different. The basic unit is 48 meters, but smaller families get 24 meters, which is a half of a caravan, and it includes 1 small room, a kitchen, and a bedroom. And the bigger families get 32 meters, which is 3/4 of this thing. And we have some very big families, very large families that get a whole caravan, 48 meters. Today we have in this neighborhood around 1,450 people. It is divided like this. We have 220 families of Jews who came from the Soviet Union, from Russia and places around Russia. We have 90 families of Jews who came from Ethiopia. And we have 185 families of Israeli families that went out of their homes because the prices went very high when the new immigrants came 2 and 3 years ago. So we also have families that are for 30, 40 years in Israel. And in the meantime, they can earn the money that in the jobs that they're working and from social care and stuff like that. So they'll be able to save money and go out The second goal is in the meantime, in the time that they're here, that their kids will get the best education and that they will find jobs, because we have some people, or about 20% of the people who live here are unemployed. So a lot of our goal is to find jobs for them. We have a learning center in which the kids can do their homework when they come back from school. And we also have a children's club. Other from that, we have 2 synagogues. One for the Ethiopian community because their tradition is a little different, and another one for everybody else. And we also have clubs for adults. If you want to ask questions, I will be happy to answer.
How could you tell if there's the Ethiopian and his white, so colored, real black man with the same
I don't know exactly what's the point.
Well, the black people from the United States have large noses and thick lips.
Well,
Can you repeat the question?
I didn't really.
No, I'm saying, how do we know if this person walking down the street with an Ethiopian or USA black man?
Well, they came from Ethiopia and they live in the USA. I mean, we're not. Yes, most of the people speak Hebrew already, but they have classes in Hebrew. We're not trying to define them racially or and apart them from others. You know, we're not trying to tell Jews from Arabs or things like that. You know, we try to act with people who are human beings and give them the best help or the best treatment they need. The treatment or as good as conditions as the Ethiopians get. So that causes a lot of bad feelings, but we're happy about the fact that it didn't cause us any violence or any very bad intensity between the different communities. But they're not exactly, say, very close relations. They live their own lives. They don't separate it by force, but usually they don't mix that much. Well, because the government of Israel gave the Ethiopians certain conditions, the Jews who came from Ethiopia, certain conditions and things that they didn't give the Jews who came from the Soviet Union because of different reasons that the government had. You know, it's not our decision, and the plan now that it gives every Ethiopian family, according to its size, but generally 95% of the mortgage. Which means, for instance, if a family is with 5 people, they get around $100,000 from the government, and that most of it is in a loan, very, very long-term loan. For 28 years, they have to pay around 50 shekels a month, which is a very, very good mortgage. If you think about what you might get in the United States or what people usually get in Israel, which is
$17 a month.
Obviously the Jews who came to the Soviet Union feel, why shouldn't we get this same plan, which is very good and very comfortable? Well, they get things more like the Israeli families get, which is around 100,000 shekels, and not in as good terms. So same treatment, the same care, and they might be right, but we can't help that. We also give the government our opinion that we would like to see higher mortgages and better mortgages, also for Israeli couples, because some of them have been in very hard conditions and very big problems for 20 years maybe. Some of them ever since they were...
Conditioning? Oh, they're air conditioning. Oh,
That's the office.
I thought we were going to clothing. Look how nice and neat.
It's a lot better than they had in the bush.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen.
Look at them.
The Muslim quarters, the Damascus Gate, part of the Great Wall. Muslim.
Where did they come from?
All of them.
Yeah, right.
They were nomads.
The tower of the Rockefeller Museum of Archaeology. This is where most of the Dead Sea Scrolls and the fragments are. Straight ahead, the tower of the Augusta Victoria. From here, Jesus went up to Mount Zion, where he had the famous Last Supper at the upper room. and then came back here, knowing that he's going to be betrayed by Judas Iscariot, knowing that by morning he's going to be arrested, and then on the cross. So he was here all night in agony, and that's why the name of the church is the Church of the Agony of Christ.
In this church, B. Oh, that's right, yeah.
Agonized all night, knowing that
Right.
he was going to die the next morning. Or also the Church of All Nations. They call it both. And outside they have different things that represent each nation.
Right.
That's 1400 years ago.
The women are up on a balcony, throwing things down to the bar mitzvah. Things they throw down are usually little gifts, packs of candy, nuts, and nothing of really great intrinsic monetary value. And there are many bar mitzvahs where it's considered very lucky crowd, it's impossible. Where's the bar mitzvah boy? I don't know, they all look like a masked bar mitzvah. Oh, okay. Thank you. Whoa. Reading of the Torah. The mitzvah boy. Where's the bar mitzvah boy? There he is. There's the bar mitzvah boy. Still building, that's a mosque. You have to take your shoes off to pray and walk on. It's all carpeted. This is where they have to wash their feet, their hands, and believe it, they have to wash their ears. We're talking about the Muslims. Wash their ears so they can hear the prayers and listen better. That's the laws of their religion. I got you. This is one of the mosques. This is the dome on the rock.
The rock is the foundation rock on which God built earth according to the Jewish tradition. Also the summit of Mount Moriah, on which God asked Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac. These are the two Jewish traditions. For the Muslims, this is the site of the ascension of Muhammad to heaven. These are the traditions. Now, also this is the site where in the temple of Herod, the temple stood there. Here, if you remember the model, these were the steps and the little gate.
Cranes you see on the dome, it's not being constructed, it's being cleaned, renovated, and there was a $10 million contract that was awarded, of all things, an Irish outfit from Ireland that will be putting gold leaf on the dome. Streets of old Jerusalem, right?
Yep.
Watch those steps. Be careful. These stalls are closed. Normally they'd have vendors, but they're all closed now. Beginning to open now. Various objects made of wood. Pottery, sandals, shoes, leather. Shalom.
No.
Last Supper figurines made of olive wood. Very popular here. Chess sets. Very interesting stuff. Jewelry of all kinds. And there's a little restaurant. It's got meat they make sandwiches out of. Putting falafel, pita bread, vegetable. Happy shop. Happy, happy, happy. I guess they're just opening up the shops now.
Here we go. I'm not going to take. I got slides of this.
Oh. Now you got slides, more professional. What happened to his sketch pads? And the ever-present t-shirts, Hard Rock. Can you imagine that? It's amazing, you have no refrigeration. Butcher, Assad restaurant. Shishlik. Shishlik is also what they got. Shish kebab, shishlik.
There are 14 different events mentioned from the moment he was arrested until he was buried. These events were then given numbers and later stations because as they walked through the famous route he was taking from the judgment place to the crucifixion place, they numbered these stations. Now, why there was a need to walk with the...
Chapel in the monastery on the ground, on the Villa Rosa. You want to read the photo? You want? Free of charge. It's up to you. Sepulchre. 1099.
The ancient court of almost 1,000 years before,
As you can see in this picture,
Thanks, kid.
That's a brand new mosaic, 6 months.
It depicts the crucifixion.
Was in ruins, rubble, destroyed by the Jordanians. And when we came back in 67, reuniting Jerusalem, making the old city again part of Jewish Jerusalem. In front of that room is another room with a mosaic on the floor here. It's a very pretty mosaic, very visual one, because it has a couple motifs that are not usually found. There's a little, in the far corner, there's everyone see the inner circle of the mosaic? Yes. There's like sitting on that circle is a little vase, right? Thin neck, fat bottom, thin bottom, fat middle, fat thin bottom. That should be standing up, should say Chanel number 5, should be in the medicine cabinet. That's a perfume vase, right? Okay? And with the area, you got 2 palmettes, palm leaves, a nice wave pipe on the outside, down some steps, what I've already said is a mikvah, right? A ritual bath, where you purify yourself spiritually, not to wash up, right? And there's another mikvah underneath the arch structure in the middle there, those behind the pole, if you take a peek on the edges. And there's another mikvah on the side there. And there's another collecting pool over here. And there's a cistern in the back. And there's another cistern on the other side. So why does one house, by the way, 200 square feet, 200 square meters, 1,800 square feet, big house? Yes. Why does a house like this have so many water installations? What's going on here? All right? Well, let me ask you a question. How many bathrooms do you have in your houses? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, right? If you have money, if you can afford it, you have for comfort, right? So maybe there's something to do with comfort here as well. Yeah, it's the upper class versus the lower class. It's the Hellenists, those are somewhat Hellenized, as you can see here, versus the traditionalists. And there's several layers of conflict that are much more complicated than just Jews versus the Romans. Anyway, you get a sense for the wealth. I mean, this is a gorgeous carpet. I mean, what's a mosaic if not a carpet? That's what it's used for. And you can see that all the stones are local stones. You can also see by the way they've marked it here to give us a sense of the shape and size that how they actually make it. I mean, you basically take your, you have a Sears and Roebuck catalog. You look at a bunch of designs. You get an artist, and the artist does it for you. You choose it. If you're wealthier, you choose a better design, more complicated. You bring the artist yourself from abroad. If you're poor, you just take a local artist. Well, you might not have taken your bath right away, but yes. It's just a quick immersion. The bath's opening up.
You gotta take a bath.
Huh? But where did they have them in those days?
This tub.
Where did they have them washing?
On that note,
Gotta ask the maven.
take you back to the top. A little bit of a taste of Jerusalem 2,000 years ago, everyday life, at least of the wealthy folk, and a little bit of a little bit of a taste of the conflict, the tension.
Nope. Watch your stuff, Bea. Very good. There's Bea with the Ethiopian. Ah, very nice, Beatrice. This room is King David's tomb. And this is the room that Jesus had his Last Supper.
There's a typical Rosetta Stone that the Crusader had.
This is the tomb? There's the tomb. This is the tomb of David. King David. Torah inside. In those casings. Very good, Beatrice. That's a boy.
Right now, sea level.
Like a little sheepy.
Couldn't hear you?
The Dead Sea Scrolls were found in those black holes, the caves.
Where were you yesterday when I explained it? Turn around 3 pages, you'll find it. 3 pages.
Dead Sea Scrolls.
50 miles long and 11 miles wide in the widest place. In the northern end, it is relatively deep, 1,200 feet deep. In the south is shallow, 5 feet deep. At the south, we have is 1,200 feet above the Dead Sea level, and it's still 10 feet below sea level. When we'll be on the top? As of yesterday. See what happened here.
Wow. Ain't getting. Yep. Everybody learned something today. You know. Dromedaries and camels. What's the difference, Bea, between a dromedary and a camel? What's the difference? The hump. And the hoof.
Another thing they say the doctors told them, the physicians told them that this mud, when you smear it on your skin, it will absorb the humidity out of your bones. One thing for sure, when they put the mud on, they look like Zulu warriors.
That's going up to the Masada. It holds 40 people. The ride's about 2.5 minutes to the top. And get a little closer. That's the fortress of Masada. Now we get up there where, of course, we'll get the history of it, I'm sure, from Shmulek, which means Sammy in English. Here we are on a cable.
Going up.
Really caught in the rain.
Dried riverbed. When it rains, that fills up. For the hardy souls, the daring ones that don't want to take a cable, or else are frightened by the cable.
The harder they get at it, the harder. 4 years older than me, I think. She's about 40.
After the cable, you've got to walk 85 more steps, get up to the top of the mountain. And that's where we are now. Well, we finally made it to the top. These are the remnants of the fortress. Here's the rest of our group climbing up. A little cloudy today.
The Masada, without being fortified by man, was already a natural fort. The water running from the top down hit the cliff, couldn't jump over. So the water found the easiest place in the formation to run down towards the Masada, to, in case of troubles at Jerusalem. The first thing they did, they built a casement wall all around the Masada, which is 20 acres. An inner wall and an outer wall. And then we have the chambers. Right in here down below, that's what they have. They had the vegetable gardens of the Masada. In here behind me, the storehouses, and in the northern end, the royal palace. He also had an official palace. This building covered by a roof. He used to come down here for his winter vacation. Now Herod died in 4 BCE. Now,
Herod's castle.
66 they declared war on Rome. 67 Vespasian Flavius landed with his legions in Acre. He defeated the Jews in the Galilee. Then they moved to the Negev desert. The Jews were defeated in both Negev and Galilee. The survivors amongst the Jews ran to Jerusalem. In Jerusalem, a drama. They're all in the city, protected by the ramparts. But until then, like now, unfortunately, the Jews were divided in so many theopolitical groups. But since they were spread all over the country, there was tension. Now they are in a pressure cooker. And in no time, violence. I'm ashamed to tell you that while the Romans were besieging Jerusalem 2,000 years ago, there were more Jews killed by Jews within the city than by their enemies. Named El-Azar ben Yair, escaped the city of Jerusalem and get into the desert. Josephus Flavius, the famous historian, doesn't tell us how they could do that. How did they walk through the Roman ranks? The fact is, they get it in the desert, and that's when the decision was taken to come up here to Masada, knowing, A, that if they'll make it up here, they'll have enough food, as much water as they need, and once they'll protect the fort, this is an impenetrable fort. They surprised these guards, they conquered the place, and then they found out that the fort was built just for the royal family, for 100 people, 150 people, but not 967. For the first few weeks, they lived in the chambers of the casement walls. Then they dismantled a few of the Herodian palaces and buildings and built for themselves houses here in the center. They also divided the palaces into 4 or 5 different apartments where probably the leaders will live. This, again, once they solved the accommodation, things became quite difficult. We could stay here forever, us, children and theirs. But if you want otherwise, I understand you. I understand what you're saying. We stay here minding our own business. Remember our who were killed by the Romans, or those who were taken alive and now are being fed to the Romans in the Colosseum in Rome, to the lions, sorry. Can we forget those who were killed by our own fellow Jews in Jerusalem? Their blood is screaming in our bodies, asking for revenge. We have 2 options of staying here and minding our own business, or go the other way. If we go the other way, the Romans will know that the uprising, that the revolt is not over, and there's still resistance again. And each of these night squads was given a mission. Get off this rocket now, raid against the Jewish villages, mind you, and get the Makvar, Istanbulia, Hebron, burn the fields of these Jewish farmers, destroy their houses, poison their water wells, kill the livestock, leave these Jewish farmers with nothing but the skin over their bones, so they won't have the money or the food to pay or feed the Roman army stationed in Judea. At the beginning, Flavius Silva, the man in command of the Roman legion, thought, it's a temporary episode. But then they found out there is a pattern to it. The Masada, on top here, 1,000 people, 967. Now, who are the two parties facing each other? The Jews, we learned about it. Galilee, Jerusalem, they made it here. They're not going to give in. They're not going to give up. And they take orders only from God through the ultra-Orthodox stubborn rabbi who's the leader. The Romans, on the other side, on the other hand, crossed the Mediterranean. They were very tired. They conquered Galilee. They defeated the Jews in the Negev desert. They besieged the city of Jerusalem. They broke the walls. They burned the no-good temple of the no-good Jews. And La Dolce Vita in Jerusalem. Now, because of lousy 967 Jews on top of a rock in the middle of nowhere, in a God's-forsaken place, I should be taken out of comfort, roast during the night, during the day, and freeze during the night. Who needs it? Let's get the job done. Because the bows, the arrows, the catapult, the ballistic. Now, the archaeological expedition was to give us an idea how
This is the storage area. They had food supplies and bows and arrows.
In the center, this big Calidarium, Tepidarium.
That's the bathhouse.
The Apoditorium was the dressing room. Then you went into the Tepidarium, the tapping room. The Calidarium was the hot room, the schwitz spot. And then you went into the Tepidarium, the cold room, and out. So 4 rooms into this, right here.
Wow, give you an idea of the height.
They didn't have wireless radios or walkie-talkies. They needed to send messengers between the various units. And you can see the messenger path running parallel to the wall. To send a message galloping on a horse. The big squares that you see down below were Roman camps. The only one that has been renovated or restored is the one next to the cable car.
Oh, that's the Roman camp.
That's the way it was, not higher than that. Now,
Which is the Roman camp?
That big square.
Where that's where it's
rectangular, these are the bases for the Roman tent.
Bathhouse. What's left of the ceramics. Different temperatures. Hot, warm, and cold. Steam room. And those, they had wooden benches on top of those small projections. Heat supplied by that was hot air blown underneath, and water was introduced for the steam effect. Some blackened holes in the fire.
Look down and see the Romans prepare for their morning invasion. They could hear the Roman war cries. They could see them walking around preparing. And they knew what's going to happen if and when the Romans come up here. They buy out. At such a time, we must not brace ourselves. Hitherto, we have never been even brought no danger with it. We must not choose slavery now, and with the penalties that will mean the end of everything if we fall alive into the hands of the Romans. For we were the first of all to revolt, and should be the lust to break off the struggle. And I think it is God who has given us this privilege, that we can die nobly and as free men, unlike others who are unexpectedly defeated. Firstly, they may pray to take us alive, nor can we defeat them in battle. Let our wives die unabused, our children without knowledge of slavery. After death, let us do each other an ungrudging kindness, preserving our freedom as a glorious winding sheet. But first, let our possessions and the whole fortress go up in flames. It will be a bitter blow to the Romans, that I know, to find our persons beyond their reach and nothing left for them to lose. One thing only let us spare, our store of food. It will bear witness when we are dead to the fact that we perished, not through want, but because, as we resolved at the beginning, we chose death rather than slavery. Minority that opposed. And those who opposed had valid points. There was the religious, there was the warriors, there were the double-crossers or the cowards, who said, the warriors, for instance, will say, all right, Rabbi, you're right, but why must I make it easier for them? I'm a warrior. All my life, that's what I learned to do, to fight, to protect myself. Why must I kill myself? I'll wait for them by the gate, and when they'll jump in, I'll kill as many Roman soldiers as possible. And then probably eventually one of them will kill me, and then I'll rest in peace. The religious man will say, Rabbi, everything I know, you taught me. In the last second of my life, you want me to contradict everything you taught me. You're the one who told me that the body and soul were given by God, and He's the one who will take it away from me when He will decide to do that. You're the one who told me that if I'll kill myself or commit suicide, I'm not going to be resurrected and offered down. Why couldn't we negotiate? Even if you one life, wasn't it worth it? What are you trying to do here? But since the majority voted to go with the rabbi, and it was to come here and find them beyond their reach, they chose a very cruel system to make sure they're all going to be dead when the Romans kill my family, and then you'll run away from them. Once the men killed their wives and children, the men got together and drew lots, choosing 10 men. The 10 that chosen job, the last 10 men, one killed another, and the last one killed himself. That was the end of the story. A story to Josephus Flavius, who wrote it in his book, The War of the World. That was the end of the story of Messiah.
The ruler, who was it, Herod that came up here?
Yeah, this is Herod's palace.
This is palace. One of the rooms, you can still see the tile work on the floor. The kitchen, they have various rooms throughout, as you can see. Now this is the mosaics that we spoke about on the floor that was popular during the Herodic era. And the black line that you see around the walls shows where the original dig was, and anything that was unearthed later is below that black line. This is throughout the Masada area. Spa and hotel. Adjacent to the Dead Sea, where people will go into the Dead Sea and apply the mud for healing purposes, arthritis, rheumatism, whatever. And as you know, the Dead Sea is full of microorganisms that prevent you from sinking, so you float. The Dead Sea meaning nothing, no animal or fish life exists. They call those hills in this general area the Judean wilderness. And we just left Masada which I guess is maybe 10, 15 miles from the site. I decided not to go into the Dead Sea. It's a hassle. You got to shower and make sure you're clean because the sedimentation and all might be injurious. But Beatrice, the brave soul, she's going to do it, and I'll see if I can't take a picture of her at the Dead Sea, in the Dead Sea. All covered with mud, they're washing themselves off, but inside there's regular showers, so they can do a more complete. That's the Dead Sea. You can see these two brave young ladies are out there. Let's see how close we can get without being arrested. Well, that's enough of that.
You're gonna wash it off in the beach, in the water?
I don't think she understands. Oh boy. I don't think we take pictures. We'll try. People in the mud washing themselves.
Then I can
Is it to wake a person up? What is this agreement? Do you know?
All right, no more pictures. The Sabbath is now on. The Jaffa Gate from the inside out. There's our little group assembled. There's Shmuley, right here. A group. The vendors sell picture postcards, souvenirs, that type of thing. The Armenian section. Little shops. We'll be visiting one. A little more of a general store pretty soon.
A special place in our hearts. We are fortunate to be in the Holy Land. Many for the first time. We have been truly blessed with beautiful weather, good food, lovely company, and the icing on the cake is Ellie, a fine gentleman, extraordinary bus driver, and his sidekick, Shmuley, mathematician. He pulls names out of the archives that are impossible to repeat, leave alone remember, cannot be stumped by questions, moves bodies from Tel-Aviv to Jerusalem without missing a beat. Aside from this, he is a gentleman, scholar, with a wonderful personality and a beautiful sense of humor. Who are you talking about?
You're talking about your husband now,
Lucky
right?
Israel, and we are the chosen people. We are truly the chosen people. I may have missed important facts, which while writing my Israeli novel, but I have retained much and will go back to Long Island a lot more knowledgeable than I came, and I will be I have the desire to learn more.
Yeah.
There's the Armenian section.
Oh, this is Yemen. Hey, Stan,
Yes.
why don't we give it to him together?
Oh, you can. All right. You give me. Yeah.
When you want to say please, I never saw a word that was used so much.
Shalom.
How you doing, Rich?
Fine.
Good.
I'm about ready to,
Olive tree wood. These wooden objects.
Stand on.
Armenian Museum. Entrance to the Armenian Museum. This is the Armenian quarter of the Great Walled City of Jerusalem. I'll just take a little picture here. Whether it's coming from here or not. Got in the Armenian church. Very old. I'll have to find out when this thing was built.
This river Euphrates, including all this area. The Armenians they're the natives of the area. They've been there since 5,000, 6,000 years before Christ. The first historical church.
The Armenians are Greek.
No, we are Armenian.
Armenian.
אפשר להוריד אותי טיפה. כולם מבינים עברית? No, why not? Shalom to all of you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Jerusalem. Welcome to Israel. My name is Aviva Nir. I was born in Jerusalem. And before we continue the show, I would like to know where you come from, names, addresses, etc. Let's start here. Buenas noches. And California Dream. You're welcome. And you? Egyptian. Masal khair, marhaba. Marhaba, ahlen, ahlen. Ahlen. You're from Egypt also. Oh, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
Shalom. And here?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. God bless America.
Yeah. Oakland.
Canada. You're welcome. Florida. So many countries. And Brasil. Boa noite, Brasil. Ustedes comprenden español, sí, es más fácil para mí. Ustedes muy inteligentes.
Oh boy.
And Canada, you're welcome. And here, Norway. Good afternoon, Norway.
The street in Jerusalem, that's the Hasidic section. Very religious, Orthodox Jews. Very narrow streets. It's remarkable that they can pass one another. Here's Mother Bea, spending my money.
No, your money.
I got it.
But there's a grouping with a...
Alright, they're not too happy.
Little skinny, squiggly legs sticking out. Wait, turn around. Turn around.
No, he's doing something. Oh, you know what he's doing? This is this Hasidic quarters. They live very plain and simply. I guess religion means everything to them, and material things in life are not important. They live humbly, austere, and they study the Torah, the Bible, all their lives. Little chicken walking in the house. Well, actually, it's like a courtyard. Oh, no, they don't. Yeah, that's what he did. Decided to dry. Well, they live poor and humbly. Those hanging out the back way. See if I can catch a picture in anyone's house. Oh, they're building here. Soldiers on guard at the gate. You can hear the Muslim prayers in the background as we walk through the Muslim section of Old Jerusalem. Hasidic, Israeli soldiers, and your mother is interviewing them. Fruit, vegetables, is all in the Old Jerusalem. Yeah, I got two. Yeah, I see. I got two of them there. Carrots, I see the old. Interesting looking place here. I don't know what castle that is, but it's right opposite the Arab section of Old Jerusalem, the Damascus Gate. Arab Bank. Look at that, almost 100% intact. This is a view from our hotel room at the Moriah in Jerusalem. We're on the 5th floor looking down upon the main thoroughfare. A little chilly today, and most people, as you can see, have jackets, overcoats. But the sun is shining very brightly over the city. And pretty soon Beatrice and I will look at some of the sights. Those are apartment houses across the way. Everything relatively new, built in the past 5 to 8 years, I understand. Most of the automobiles here are small, compact, 4-cylinder jobs, imported. Very few American-made vehicles. Fiats and Renaults, and some Volkswagens. They have a terrible parking problem here as well. Very crowded, very noisy. A nice quiet museum until these school kids came out. They show all types of antiquities, exhibits. There's the school teacher. Look at these kids. All that noise you hear. Get you. Hello. Got you. You can get this guy we got. Who else? Look at that guy we got. How about that guy? Oh my goodness. Look at those crazy faces. Look at that, a crazy face.
I'm with a crazy face.
What a crazy face. Oh my goodness. Oh, and there's the teacher. Hello, teacher. All right, out. The Jerusalem Great Synagogue. Oh, it's a big building. The synagogue is huge. It's like a theater. Yeah.
And they don't even have all the candles on. They only have a few of the lights on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, look at that beautiful stained glass up there. Ooh. Shot up from up top with the windows.
Yeah, that's all right. Seats 1,000 men and 700 women. The women sit in the balcony. All these paintings, rather the colored windows, stained glass windows, donated by a Jewess from Switzerland, and they depict various scenes of the Bible and those events that are depicted in the Bible. From the inside of the Great Synagogue, looking out toward the front entrance. Floors are all marble, various colors, as well as stripes. Looking out toward the front, and there's Mother Bea speaking to the doorman, I guess, interviewing him for her novel. Give an indication of how long this hall. Tower of David in the old city of Jerusalem. The ramparts, the walls. You can see where they built these slits so you can shoot arrows through that with the maximum amount of protection to the archers. panoramic view. What is new Jerusalem, the West Jerusalem that they're building up with modern roadways and buildings. And you can see they're still constructing. Now, I think this is going to be a mosque hotel or something. They're still building it. It's a very nice building.
Too nice for the Arabs and just a little
More Frank Myers sculptor. Beautiful stuff. Wow. Look at this.
Oh, here's a picture if you want to take it. Where Yitzhak Rabin is presenting Meisner.
Now
I'm with you.
Be honest.
How much would something like this cost?
Well, the candlesticks,
Yeah.
$800.
800
American dollars?
American, yes.
dollars.
Sorry?
Beautiful.
What was that?
No, it's such a such.
Yeah, Diana.
Very nice.
I agree.
Yeah. He's doing well, I'd imagine.
Don't worry about him.
No. We don't have to send him a donation.
He's pretty cute too, and this is not a Meisner, huh? This is not a
Yes, he made also in bronze, like the Ark, and Noah's Ark,
Oh, I see.
and the Fiddler.
Ah,
You can see a poster of the Noah Ark in bronze. You have here.
Noah's Ark, where's that?
Over here, Sarah. It's
Just a poster.
Oh, yeah.
But over there you have it in silver and gold.
Hey, he gave one to Queen Elizabeth,
Queen Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher. She's not a queen yet.
Jerusalem is the center of the world.
Wow. You ought to take this one, and this is really his main work.
There's the hand.
And you could show that he gave it to Margaret Thatcher.
Well, you keep bumping. She'll take 10 of them, right? Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
It's yours, the back?
That's mine. Yeah.
Oh, that's
mine.
awesome.
I see you didn't jump at the offer.
No, not today.
The expression. You did not jump at the offer.
Yeah, to jump and go for it.
She gave to Margaret Thatcher all the buildings
Yeah, I mean, because if I bought one gift, that was that one thing
in
here,
silver.
then I couldn't give anybody anything.
These buildings are Jerusalem or Israeli?
They could have some cut rate things. The poorer people.
Nah, boy.
No, this is his work, and this is his quality. I can't blame him. And the idea that it's very unique. Jerusalem is the center of the world.
Yeah.
Is his idea.
The
Like his idea.
Fiddler on the Roof, I guess, is this one.
It's gorgeous. I like it.
This is it. A man, open vest. All these little things in his body. What do all these little things inside this man represent?
It's Toulouse-Lautrec.
Oh, Toulouse-Lautrec, yeah. Different
Story of his life.
story of his life. Oh, I see. Trek with his vest closed. On the way back to the airport, last day in Israel and Jerusalem. Still building all over the place. Lovely apartments. surrounding Jerusalem. And contrary to the beliefs, it's not full desert. For duty free. Made customs without being arrested. Oh. Farewell, Beatrice. Farewell.